When is
Recording.
there we go.
Hello, and welcome to the DXbiz Call for Monday, 16th of May, 2022. On the agenda today, we have one member introduction that we'll start with in a moment. We have DoinGud presenting. We have Manu from DXGud here. Under DXbiz discussions, we have Seth.
That's a DXDAO developer recruit in the background.
Yes, sorry. I'm moving to another room.
Budding Solidity developer.
Yeah. So yeah, we have Arbitrum Odyssey swapper campaign. We actually won, and I think there's a few updates about that. The DAOist Dawn opportunity. Another DX events, we have ECC coming up, and the DX hack proposal is up at around DevCon Bogota and the DX retreat. And yeah, I think we might have some time to also talk about the DX ventures opportunities, maybe. Yeah, so that's that. And yeah, Philip, do you want to get us started? Would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi guys, thank you for that. So yeah, I'm Philip and I'm in QA engineering last 3.5 years. I'm working a lot of projects that include Web 2.0 and some components that include Web 3.0, something like Crypto Explorer, and almost that was the crypto that's on Ethereum network. So that's it about my crypto experience. Interesting. And I work as automation and manual QA because automation can't function without manual. You know that. So my tech stack that I prefer is Node.js. That's JavaScript, Selenium, WebDriver IO, and Gherkin for the syntax and scenarios, like describe features and stuff like that. So that's it. And a few words about DAO. It's I know the DAO is a whole new concept, and in my opinion, that is the how things need to work in blockchain, because we speak about immutability and like that, and we use the exchange that is not decentralized. So that's overkill in my head now. But all things about DEX and DeFi, that's mind-blowing for me at the moment. I'm learning about it, I don't know, not enough, but I can't wait to learn it and to diving into it. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome. And how did you find out about DXDAO?
Yeah, I work in one company with Milan QA. We work together on some projects, and when he told me how you guys works and all stuff about his experience and community, I can't imagine in my head, is it real or not? Because it sounds awesome, because you have all the moments for self-improvement, and you have the mate in your team who can push you up and help you for all things, and also you from another side, you can help some another guy for some similar issue that you fix on your previous experience, and I like that moment. And also the moment where we speak with community, because when you work as QA, you need to wear shoes that user wear, because I'm not interested about client request, if I can say on that way. I'm interested for users, because that is the guys or girls who use it, the system, and it needs to work on the way to help them to get what they want.
Yeah. Awesome. Amazing. Welcome.
And Philip, what's
Thank
your
you.
favorite food?
My favorite food, it's Serbian pljeskavica. It's something like hamburger.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah,
Well, welcome to DXDAO.
everyone that introduces themselves.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So thank you. And yeah, I think, I guess you've been talking to Melanie and, can continue, the discussion and how to onboard and stuff like that. And yeah, on to the next topic. We have DoinGud here. We have Manu here on the chat. Feel free to, grab the mic, man. And yeah, I just posted your DAO talk into the chat.
All right, awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm also here today with Andrew as well, one of the co-founders. Maybe we can do a quick introduction of ourselves so you guys get to know us a little bit, and then we can get into the product and show you a little bit about the things that we have live and where we're going. Andrew, you want to get started with your quick intro?
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks everyone for having us. Great to meet you all. Like Manu said, I'm Andrew, one of the co-founders, mostly overseeing the operations and finance side of the project. My background is in finance, but not at like a big bank or big consulting. I did consulting too, but actually at a cooperative, one of the largest in the world. Those in the US might know Land O'Lakes, the butter company. It's actually a cooperative. And I got to work on our patronage program where we were designing how to redistribute profits back to the members, and then also in internal consulting, like working for our largest members so that they improve their business. And as like the individual members were strong, like the cooperative was strong. So I always thought that was a really cool model. And once I got introduced into Web3 and this idea of DAOs and like community ownership was like perfectly aligned with what I was interested in the first place. And I transitioned from that by doing an MBA program in Europe, in Madrid, at IE Business School, focusing on social entrepreneurship. So kind of wanted to get outside of just the finance and consulting side of stuff and like do something of my own and do something that was more impactful, I guess. And first I launched an ed tech company where we were teaching kids how to be safe and responsible on the internet. So there I saw like the toxic and kind of destructive nature of big tech and Web2 and like these extractive models. And again, like when I learned more about Web3 and this idea of owning your own information and like kind of taking the power back into the individual was again like perfectly aligned with my values. So obviously jumped right in thanks to my brother Manu here, who kind of kept feeding me this information, showing me how much aligned it was. And we met 10 years ago when I studied abroad in Venezuela. I was the crazy gringo American that wanted to learn Spanish, and I studied abroad in Venezuela. Manu was a brother to me there, and we stayed close ever since. So kind of joined forces once I moved over to Europe and was looking for the next big thing. So that's kind of my background and how I got here. Pass it back to you, Manu.
Yeah, from my side, I'm Manu. I'm originally from Venezuela, as Andrew said. I've been working in the tech industry basically since I'm a kid. I got my first computer at the age of 8, more or less. 13, I started building websites, very shitty ones. I was doing arbitrage without me knowing that I was doing arbitrage. So I was buying stuff from the US and also from Europe and reselling it back at home. Did that during my whole high school. And then in my university, I started also building websites for the university. Then I became a mechanical engineer, got hired by one of the largest oil service companies in the world called Schlumberger. And basically what I was doing there, I was connecting, let's say, all the different operators and trying to bring them and basically discovering petroleum within Venezuela. Did that for a couple of months until I realized how disgusting the whole thing is. Then after that, I left and I got into activism. Basically, I had to run away from Venezuela because, as you know, it's super dangerous for people to express themselves. I came to Europe and then I started working again, developing websites. I got hired by a company called Rocket Internet, which basically what they do is arbitrage of ideas. They copy ideas that are working, let's say, in the United States, and they bring it to Europe or vice versa, or to, let's say, Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and so on. I got hired for a company called Jumia, which basically we copied Amazon, eBay, Booking.com, Uber Eats, PayPal into one brand. And it became the largest marketplace in Africa. I was doing there. I was the head of mobile, and so I was in charge of all the growth and also products. And yeah, did that for over 2 years until I realized how toxic the whole Web2 space is. That basically, we're using a new type of oil, which is data against users, and yeah, very, very extractive. So I decided to leave, and then after that, I got hired by Microsoft to be the CMO for one of their startups that was basically connecting patients and doctors using machine learning and chatbots. There, again, I realized how bad Web2 is. But luckily, I had a friend who was into Bitcoin and was telling me all the time about Bitcoin. Then Ethereum came out. When Ethereum came out, he built a smart contract that allowed you to swap assets. And yeah, after that, basically, I realized how powerful this technology is and how it can be used as a tool for freedom. And that's when I decided to go all into crypto in 2016. And yeah, I've been working in the space since then. The first thing that I did, I was tokenizing real estate, tokenizing venture funds and venture capital with a European legal framework. Work on that for over 2.5 years. We raised over $18 million. And yeah, the idea was to enable anyone to invest in any type of asset. But yeah, I realized that this goal is not really achievable because, as you guys know, there's a lot of restriction when it comes to investment vehicles and so on. And then in 2018, decided to join the DAO movement, the first with the Meta Cartel. Also, I became a mentor at the DAO, helping different projects there. And also, I was one of the founding members of API 3 DAO. And yeah, that's a little bit about me and what I've done in the space. Since 2020, we decided to work on social products. We first built a product called 5 Pandemics. And it was essentially a place to connect those in need of help with those who can provide help anywhere in the world. And we built this whole product without raising $1 single US in over 30 languages and with only volunteers from all over the world. We had over 1,900 people contributing with code and contributing with, let's say, design or communications. And while we were building this product, we realized a pattern, which was that most of the people that were behind nonprofits and NGOs were creators. And that's when we decided to work on DoinGud, which is creating a bridge between the creator economy and the giving economy. And yeah, that's why we're here today. And I'm going to show you very quickly what we have live. And then after that, I'm going to show you what we're building as well. Here you can see this is a creator profile. This is for ETH Barcelona. We're currently doing the tokens, NFT sales for the event. And yeah, essentially here on DoinGud, you can see drops happened in the past, and I'm gonna walk you through so you can understand a little bit how does it work. So I'm gonna show you the first drop that we did. It was called the Ocean Drop, and the Ocean Drop was done at the same time on Super Rare and on DoinGud. This was the first drop ever on DoinGud, and here you can see that it says DoinGud Gallery as the curator. And essentially, the idea is that we're gonna have tokens, and we're going to have permissionless galleries. So people that have enough tokens are going to be able to come and curate drops and make offers directly to the creators. And these offers are completely on-chain. Here you have like the different creators, the different social causes that are being supported. In this case, is the Open Earth Foundation. You can click there. You can see the cost. The cost is completely on-chain. You can see the different creations that are supporting this specific social cause. So you guys, I'm pretty sure that you guys know what happened with the Black Lives Matter movement, that everyone was posting like a black picture. And yeah, we think that, in the future, people are going to show that they care about humanity, not only with a Bored Ape, but actually with, different creations, and showing that they care about the world, and not necessarily just buying and selling, but just signaling that they care about the world. Also, another thing is in the drop, you have different creators that are selling. In this case, we had big creators like Paul Nicklin. Paul Nicklin is probably one of the top photographers from National Geographic. He basically launched. Actually, let me look it up here. He launched this drop for the first time together with us. And yeah, also we had Christina Mittermeier and a couple of other top-notch creators, and they decided to come to DoinGud because they were able to basically make donations directly on chain and in a transparent way. And yeah, for example, these guys decided to give 100% to the Open Earth Foundation, and yeah, many other creators, they decided to give any amount of money that they were willing to. On DoinGud, a minimum of 5% is required, so they can give whatever they want. And yeah, basically this is what we currently have. We also have exhibitions page. We have done exhibitions together with Gitcoin, also with ETH Denver, where they were the curators. We have also an Explorer, which was currently released, and essentially people are able to explore and buy and sell different NFTs. Right now, we only have sorting. We're going to be launching filters in the next sprint. And now I'm going to show you very quickly how does it work on DoinGud. And by the way, when you come to DoinGud, you're able to connect your MetaMask, your Wallet Connect, and your email. And when you connect, basically you create a profile. The profile is using the Ceramic network. So like that, you're really owner of your profile, meaning that in the future, you will be able to use that profile in other social networks that also have integrations with the Ceramic network and so on. So yeah, on DoinGud, you come, you put your username, you put your profile, your email if you want to receive notifications. And then after that, you click next. And the first thing is you will land on your profile that is kind of empty. And the first thing that we say is it's time to make an impact, choose a social cause. So you select, okay, I care about no poverty, I care about gender equality, I care about climate change. And these are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. The United Nations is saying that it's needed over $4 trillion every year in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. And currently, there's no protocol, no platform that is basically funneling that money in a transparent way. And that's why we think that we have a huge opportunity here. And yeah, essentially, after you choose all of those social costs, those social topics, you can see the different projects that are supporting those. And you can browse directly there. You can put a keyword or search by location, and you can select which ones are your favorite and which one is your main cause. Then after that, you're basically able to drag and drop and upload any type of content, whether it's pictures, music, videos, or even 3D objects for the metaverse. And then you write what is the title, the description, the tags, the social causes you can select within your favorites, or maybe some suggestions based on maybe some problems that are happening around the world. Let's say, for example, Ukraine, it could be highlighted there. And then also you can add different collaborators and add their usernames or their Ethereum address if they don't have a username yet within the DoinGud with the DoinGud platform. Then after that, you select what are the different splits between all the different contributors, and you can have up to 200 contributors. And then what is the profit that goes to the social cause? As I previously said, we're starting with 5% in the primary market and a minimum of 2.5% in the secondary market. All of these can be changed by the DAO once we release it. But yeah, those are like the initial parameters that we have established. Then after that, you're able to publish, and that's it. When you publish, you're currently publishing. Basically, we're using IPFS. The idea is that you are also able to put the metadata on Airwave or Filecoin, so like that you can have a more resilient NFT. And when I say that we publish, I don't say mint, it's because you don't need to have any cryptocurrency in your wallet. And the way that it's being done in a decentralized way is using the Ceramic network. Otherwise, will be completely centralized. And yeah, it's with lazy minting. So the idea is that basically the tokens are lazy minted on multiple chains, so the creator can decide if they want to release it on Polygon or Ethereum, let's say Gnosis chain or any chain that the creator wants. But we have released on Polygon, and in the next month or so, we're releasing also on Ethereum and other EVM compatible chains as well. Everything that I've showed you until now is completely live. We have instant buys, we have English auctions, we have rank open editions, we have rank auctions. Also, we're going to have Dutch auctions in the near future. And now I'm also going to show you what is being worked on. We're going to have the possibility for creators to have different type of sale mechanics, meaning that they will be able to create bonding curves, let's say manual bonding curves. So you can say, okay, I have the first public sale is going to be 10 editions for $50, the second 2 editions for $80, for example, and you can create like different pricing models within one sale. And all of this is done completely on chain. And also you can limit the amount of editions that can be, let's say, purchased by a wallet. You can also create private sales and decide who are those, let's say, whitelisted or allow listed to mint and to be part of the sale. And yeah, essentially you're going to have more control within your drops in a very, let's say, user-friendly way. Another thing that we're going to be doing is curation. We think that curation is super, super powerful. So we're going to have boards, and boards are essentially kind of like a way for individuals to organize the things that they like. So you can have, let's say, a board for artists from Latin America and put all of the different pieces there. Or maybe another board that is focused on music NFTs. And you could have, let's say, even a play button and basically have that as a playlist. You would be able to have a page that other people can use as well of all your curated NFTs. And you can have different people also participating in the collaboration process. So you can have, as you can see here, you have 2 people, so you have added collaborators, and you can create these curated boards collectively. And the idea is that DAOs can also do that, and yeah, create kind of like all these different medias across different formats and bringing them and curate them in one place. And this is basically what we have right now. I show you most of the things. We are building towards launching a token in the next 3-4 months, and the idea is that every time that there's a transaction happening in the platform, the creator, the collector, and the curator will receive tokens that we call Amor. And these Amor tokens basically will enable people to have governance once they stake them. And the idea is that we can curate a social cost registry of all the causes that we believe are doing a good work for the world. And these, let's say, this token curated registry can be accessed by other NFT platforms, by DeFi, by DAOs, or by anyone, even in the Web2 space, as we're building also an SDK that can be integrated across. And yeah, that's a little bit about what we're building, what we have. And Andre, I don't know if you want to add something.
I think you touched on the main things around the product. Maybe we should talk about like who's working with us on this and how we did our previous fundraise, right? Do you have your I have the presentation.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Part. I actually do have it as well. It's here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so go on, Andrew, if you want to cover this.
Yeah, for sure. So we're definitely looking to build this kind of certainly in like a community effort, and we're looking with other aligned like partners, groups, DAOs to be collaborating on this. So here you see a list of a lot of them we're working with. Decentralized storage, obviously really important. So working with Filecoin and Arweave and have grants, token swaps in place. Development organizations like DORG, Beta Supernova, Zeneca, social cause groups like Giveth and the Giving Block. MME are the lawyers in Zug, Switzerland that work to launch the Ethereum Foundation, and Tezos and Polkadot and many others. So looking to have the best behind us there. The Ceramic Network, I think we were the first project to launch with their like decentralized identity, and many others. And beyond just like working with teams, like also we brought a bunch of advisors to be supporting us in this, with a lot of the great like founders and leaders in the space that have been helping us along the way with key advice and connections. So we have Scott Moore here from Gitcoin, Griff from the original DAO and Giveth and Common Stack, and Aaron with Gnosis, and Simona from Bounties Network and Status. Yeah, I never know who to call out here because obviously they're all great. And then also on the creator side, that are connecting us with a lot of firepower with kind of people that want to get into the NFT space and are ready to launch. And then on the NFT side too, with Renee from Mocha and Ben Lacoff from Charged Particles. Yeah, the list goes on there. And I think the other thing that's super important is like we wanted the same mindset when we did our first fundraise. So we were very clear that we didn't want like a lead investor that took a big chunk and like kind of dictated how things went. We wanted our financial contributors also to be kind of as many aligned individuals and some funds that would, you know, align with these values long term and like bring as many people along as we could. So we have a lot of the angels here that are also advisors or founders of other projects and protocols that we want to build together with. We got Zet there, of course. And then we got, you know, many others of these funds that we had small tickets, but we think can help us and make the key connections too. We're pretty adamant that we weren't going to give big tickets and have a lead investor. So yeah, I think that covers kind of who's supporting us in this. Anything to add, Manu?
Yeah, also another thing that is important to mention is that until now, all our product has been in beta. So the way that people onboard to our platform has been by us giving them a creator pass. And we have, you know, taking a very, let's say, very slow time in order to make sure that the creators have a really nice user experience before we open it up to the whole world. As you know, in digital products, if people come and basically they're not able to do what they're intending to do, basically they won't come back. So that's why we've been taking this conservative approach before we open up the whole platform. But yeah, we feel that we are right now in a really good stage when it comes to the user experience and so on. And yeah, the next step is for us to focus on the token launch and then afterwards open it up for the whole world.
Hey guys, it's Guy. Thanks Andrew and Manu for doing this. And so DoinGud, the platform is amazing, and you can see by you guys running through it how advanced and awesome it is. This is like from a DXDAO perspective, like DXDAO's, you know, decentralized DeFi DAO has done very little in the NFT world. We have experimented with POAPs with our community and things like that, but we have never produced NFTs really. Well, we did do non-fungible trophies a really long time ago as part of Gitcoin grants and Panvala, but other than that, we haven't done like much more with NFTs. What would be either what you guys are seeing with other DAOs like us, or what would be in your mind perfect scenarios for how DXDAO could start leveraging this platform and tech to bring it into its community? And if you don't know the answer to that, because it's not happening that much, that's okay. But what would be the perfect path for DXDAO to start, you know, using this and bringing it into? Is it identifying a cause and then bring that cause to our community via these NFTs? Or what would be some examples where we could actually take some steps into that space?
Yeah, those are really good questions. So what we've been seeing is that, you know, some DAOs like Gitcoin wants to be part of this by curating content themselves and essentially kind of like giving a voice to creators within their community, and connecting them, you know, with possible collectors and also connecting them with a possible social cause. In the case of Gitcoin, the idea was that every transaction that happened in the platform, that money would go to a pool, and that pool was reserved for the Gitcoin grants. So essentially, here it could be something along those lines. But yeah, the idea is that, you know, the different DAOs cultivate their community with creators, and they have a tool, you know, for curating content and also for publishing content as well. Like instead of publishing on YouTube and so on, you could come to this platform and publish your content. And again, the content, the way that it's published is using the Ceramic network, using IPFS and so on. So it's not really in a centralized manner. So yeah, there are many different ways I think that it could be used. And also another way, it could be like you guys are a creator yourselves, and you can start dropping, let's say, in the future, tokens to, let's say, community members that came, for example, to this call, similar to POAP. And yeah, create, let's say, different type of incentive mechanisms. The idea is that you as a creator DAO, you will be able to, let's say, create different type of NFTs that maybe are only accessible for those that have previous NFTs. The way that we envision this is that we're building a social platform. So it's not only a place where you buy and sell NFTs, but also a place for, let's say, connection with the different members of communities. So imagine that you as a creator DAO, you can have many different people that have collected your NFTs, and you can have, let's say, like kind of like Discord channels where only the collectors are able to participate and talk directly to you guys. So yeah, that's kind of like the vision that we have when it comes to the creator space and how we can bring it together with DAOs. Maybe Andrew, you can add something on top of that.
Yeah, I think you caught the main things. I think the longer vision too with the token launch as well is like that will allow what we're calling impact guilds to form too, where different communities can form around specific social causes and kind of attach to that mission. So like public goods funding or sustainable development goals like climate and like diversity and these aspects. It's another area that we're looking to build out with the mechanics of the token to incentivize and reward those that are participating in these different guilds. And in this manner, it's another way to potentially like align the DAO with certain like causes that want to be supported and attached with that like ecosystem of streaming funds and like supporting those missions. So more to come on that. We're excited for that to kind of make its way out. We're looking to kind of release something soon publicly on what our plan is with the token. But I definitely see potential there too.
Yeah, I think we haven't really had like a full NFT strategy for DXDAO. Like we have discussed like some things kind of like vaguely, and I think yeah, there have been a few products or things we've done in this realm, but we don't really have a strategy, and I think this is an interesting thing to discuss in general, sort of like the NFT strategy of DXDAO. And I think definitely what you guys are building, I think if I could brand us, is sort of like decentralization maximalists, and sorry, did I get this? Yeah, sorry. So yeah, if I could brand us, it would be sort of like decentralization, sort of like maximalist. And I think many of the things that you're doing, like hosting most of the stuff on IPFS and on Ceramic Network, is things that we really value. And yeah, I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. I think we really need to discuss sort of like our NFT strategy, because I think it's very good that sort of the bubble deflated of the NFTs, and then this could give room, instead of these copycats, 8,000 NFT collections, we could actually see something a bit more interesting, and yeah, ways to engage with communities, and I don't know, for DXDAO to build even its brand through NFTs and bring people in. So yeah, that's kind of like a couple of thoughts that I have.
Yeah, it would really be interesting to explore, as there's a bit of a divide between the DeFi world and NFTs, and this notion that NFTs is what gave DeFi a bad rap in the Web2 world and in the gamers world. So if we were to foray into NFTs, maybe DoinGud is a good access, a good partner. And it seems like the community of their backers is also not the traditional Silicon Valley VCs. Nothing wrong with that, but yeah, it seems like they have some really good communities backing them. And we saw that they gave an example with that photographer who had like 8 million followers on Instagram. So it would be interesting if, like, nothing immediate, like just consider it to probably utilize DoinGud if we were to consider going into NFTs and supporting good causes instead of just plain launching some collection for the sake of it.
Yeah. So I don't know, anyone
for sure
else have any other questions? Yeah, awesome. So thanks, Manu, and I think you guys are talking to Nathan, right? And I don't know. Usually the next step is we have a shared Telegram group where we sort of like continue and chat about these things. And yeah, ideally, I think maybe there's lots of things to talk about, but DXDAO needs to figure out this NFT strategy. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we could start this in a thread. So that's that.
Yep.
Yeah, we do have a Telegram group, and yeah, feel free to join and ask us any questions there. So yeah, more than happy to answer whatever you guys have in mind.
All right, awesome, thanks. All right, so I guess next on the agenda we have like 10 minutes, but we have the swapper on Arbitrum Odyssey. I don't know if anyone wants to. I think some people have been talking to Nina from Arbitrum because we won, and I don't know if anyone wants to fill up on this.
Yeah, so we had a meeting with Nina, and the Odyssey will start at the end of June. It will continue for a few weeks. I think it will span over maybe 2.5, 3 months altogether. We will be Swapper will be a part of the campaign in week 6, which is sometime mid-August. And they're using Galaxy, which is a dApp that gives users badges for their on-chain actions. And we had to come up with interesting like user journeys within Swapper to award. And we kind of like came to the conclusion that it would have to do with incentivizing users to participate in liquidity mining campaigns. And I added it to the agenda to, see if anyone else has something else in mind, although there aren't many options. One possibility is to use the opportunity to launch Carrot on Arbitrum, but maybe that would make it a bit too complicated. I don't know. What do people think? But basically, it seems like we're going with liquidity mining campaigns. There are a lot of constraints when it comes to the conditions for the campaign. We're not allowed to ask people to purchase certain tokens or participate in certain pools. We're not allowed to name assets, just generally ask them to fulfill certain actions. And since the eco routing does not allow us to properly monitor activity when people swap tokens, because we could possibly be routing them to other exchanges. So the only way we could properly track the campaign would be to ask people to partake in liquidity mining campaigns of their own choice.
Yeah, interesting. I think, yeah, since this is like an AMM, probably like the thing that you want to incentivize is liquidity provision. So I don't know where it could go beyond that. Just kind of like I was trying to brainstorm as you were thinking. And maybe we can incentivize specific pools and try to grow them to become the biggest on Arbitrum.
Yeah, that's the constraint. We wouldn't be able to name certain pools or assets and ask people to specifically add liquidity to those. It has to be the choice of users. That's a requirement on the side of Arbitrum. Like we are not allowed to ask people to add liquidity to, say, Swapper ETH. You know, we cannot name assets. Yeah.
Are we able to do, like, I'm interested in thinking are we able to do like sort of like carrot type things and say, like, you know, if the Swapper liquidity pool reaches like liquidity TVL reaches 50 million or something?
Yeah, no, we could do that for the whole Swapper protocol for all pools, but not for a specific pool, because it kind of asks people indirectly to purchase certain assets. Like we even ask.
So not a specific pool. We could say if Swapper reaches $50 million in TVL, then people start getting these badges.
That's possible, but the question would be how do you distribute those then? Yeah.
I mean, to anyone who's provided liquidity.
Yeah, so like a double condition, like ask people to add liquidity, and on the other side, say that you would only distribute rewards if liquidity is above a certain level, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool, but I'm wondering, what if we don't reach that threshold? Like that basically means that we are denying people rewards. Yeah.
I mean, you could create a few levels, right? Like whatever, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one question is do we don't currently have a plan to deploy Carrot onto Arbitrum. The question is, would we want to do that at some point? Probably. Are we waiting for Carrot V1 probably to be, up live, tested, and being used on, let's say, Xdot and Gnosis chain before we decide to expand that onto another chain? You could make the Carrot tokens on Gnosis chain, move them to Arbitrum, distribute them, and then draw them back. But that kind of defeats the purpose of the growing users on Arbitrum. You would be pulling them also to Gnosis chain. So if we're ignoring, if in that scenario, we don't currently have Carrot there, so we can't do anything with Carrot. So the only thing would be with Swapper, and we're limited to either providing liquidity or asking people to farm. Those are the only two things we can currently do on chain. This is not like that unique. Like if Yearn had won, what can Yearn do, right? Yearn could ask people to put money in vaults. What else can they do? Like this is DeFi. This is specific DeFi products on Arbitrum. All you do with these products is you do things with money, right? We do things with tokens. So if we can't have people to buy certain tokens, we can only have them move around or trade, or do something with tokens. So any DeFi protocol that's out there has to kind of answer this same question for these. I don't know. When we talked with the Arbitrum team, they didn't give us any new ideas that we weren't thinking about. Maybe there's some other ideas that another community is doing that would be interesting that we haven't thought about. But there's very limited opportunities that we can think of currently, unless we could get maybe we could do this. You know, John's idea about the gas track, using a gas tweak to do tracking, and actually the easiest thing would be to get people to use echo routing, right? If we could track that for this campaign, that would probably be the most unique thing that people could do on Swapper that they can't do somewhere else.
Yeah. All right. Is there a deadline for this?
I mean, it's kind of decided. Like,
Yeah.
and from the two options, you know, one, adding liquidity, and two, farming. Farming is more sticky. You know, just adding liquidity, one can easily pull out, or I don't know. Farming is just, it's like giving people a taste of how nice the UX is, get them a good feel of what Swapper offers as a service. So if we ask people to do as many steps as possible, like adding liquidity and then staking LP tokens in a farm, they will get used to it, they'll like it, and they'll probably keep coming back even after the Odyssey. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next topic is the DAOist. So the Dawn opportunity. There's an opportunity for DXDAO to become essentially a core member to support, you know, the DAOist and, you know, all their future events and initiatives. I don't know who's been in touch with Felipe and the guys. Sky?
Yeah. So there's a document there. It's just a draft. It's not in the forum yet. It was shared internally for some feedback. I'm not sure if people got a chance to look at it too much yet, but it is kind of an extension and leaning into what DXDAO has now done a few times in the past, right? It's if we're associating DXDAO with, we've experimented with a bunch of different hackathons, events, our own events, and the DAOist events, which obviously are very DAO focused, seem like a great community. The one in Amsterdam was a little bit unique compared to some of the other ones. So they're obviously, these events are changing over time. They get, you know, the community is deciding. The community has mainly been the DAOist core team who's been initiating all these. That whole process and ownership and decision-making community is moving to become a DAO, which is great, right? We all want that. Like, why should the core team decide where these events are and what they are? Like, should the community decide that? And so this DAO called Dawn is the DAO that is going to decide the future of these events. And DXDAO already has voting power in these DAOs because of the first two events that we supported, and the third event in Amsterdam GGG will likely lead to additional voting power. So that's to be decided by the actual DAO. But this opportunity that is immediately here is it's a decision to either continue to support and lean in further and become one of the core entities that make up this DAO from an entity perspective. So DXDAO being having representation in this DAO, individual people can also have say in this DAO. There is this cost, so that to create this, to continue their initiatives, and then also this new idea of this meta hub, which is this place of gathering. It's actually, the first one exists in Lisbon, and it's this like DAO physical place where people can come and show up and use and members of the DAO and things like that. That's a little bit unique. There's a decent upstart cost to like starting that whole thing and creating the physical space, but then these funds would be used for the planning of future events and things like that as well. So the open question is, should DXDAO at this point lean further into this, or just stay as it currently is, like being one of the key sponsors to like future events and things? Or should DXDAO become a deeper part of deciding where the DAOist events and this entire thing moves? And so it's a cost. This cost to become a ministry position in the DAO is $25,000. It doesn't seem like that's gonna, like, once this is the upstart costs are created, are handled, the idea is that this thing could become more sustainable. So the plan is that like not every year they don't need like this whole set of sponsors. So if you are in this DAO from the start and you give a tribute of this 25K, you get X more governance power, you get access to the events they're doing, first access to tickets and things, you get access to the Meta Hub, and then you get more say in deciding where this initiative moves. And so, yeah, it's a decision. You can see on their site some of the other parties involved. There's a whole bunch of different documents with questions and data points and things. And if there's any more questions, we can ask those as well. But maybe the next step would be, if there's no new feedback from anyone, we could put this in the forum and discuss it more publicly. There's some urgency. There's only an X number of spots available at this like initial price, and I think might go up from there. So if we could come to some consensus sooner than later, that would be ideal. But
yeah, so like the cost here is like 25K for this initial sponsorship, right? Or like, I guess you call it.
Yeah, it's more of a tribute to a DAO, right? It's not an investment because we're not expecting monetary return, but we are leaning in and giving tribute to this DAO, which is going to help launch Dawn. And Dawn is the DAO that's going to decide all of the future paths of the DAOist and all the events. And the question is, does DXDAO want to, has it had a good experience with this, and does it want to lean further in, or just stay where it is, or move away from it? Those would be like the three options: move away, stay where we are, or lean further into this ecosystem. Maybe we could do a survey again.
Yeah, do you know, is the team that is currently operating the DAOist, like, are they going to continue like with their commitments as like this DAO launches, or are they looking to like hand off their?
Good question. So they are still, this is allowing them to lean in to be even more full-time operators. If you look at the breakdown of how these funds are being spent, like the total raise is something like 800K from the biggest, there's the ambassador, there's like 18 ministry spots, and there's like 6 75K spots, which is the overall fundraise. A portion of that, I think 20K a month was the number, is going to like full-time salaries of the 4 or 5 core team who will start to, they've been doing this all like for free for the last couple of years. I mean, maybe they get some payment from some of the events they're doing, but they're going to go like full-time, and that's running the Meta Hub plus running more events. And I think that would make the events probably better than they have been, because you have full-time people looking at it. So this is allowing the core team to like become even more full-time core team, and that's part of the use of funds, which is
that's good to hear. Yeah, and like, yeah, I would love to see like some due diligence on that. Just kind of like what, you know, it'd be great to like see a doc or something about the plan and like how that looks. Because I mean, I think the DAOist as a concept is really good. Like some kind of platform for DAOs to get together at conferences and like promote the ideas and what's happening around DAOs is really good. So if it's like, you know, even if it's not an actual investment, I think it's important that like there's a solid plan that we see to actually like improve the operations of the DAOist and kind of see it continue.
Yeah, we can ask for more on that. So, some of that is well, at least like the spend of funds and some of their plans are, that's all in. There's like 4 docs in this doc that are linked. You can see the pitch deck, or the pitch. Yeah, it's kind of a summary pitch deck. There's a detailed doc. You can get a lot of that information, but we can ask for more of like the actual plans of the core team and where their vision is and their goals. Part of it is the DAO, I think the idea is the DAO could help define that path, and then they would be the best team to execute the path. So they don't have like the full path outlined because the full path isn't defined, because they want the DAO to define that path. So it's a little bit of a, you know, weird circle there, but we can ask for more around that because that's a good question. Yeah. And there is a soft idea that there's likely going to be a DAOist event in Colombia. Don't know exact time. Generally, it's in the earlier side of the week. But and then like where else the events would be or what they would be kind of left up to the DAO. Also, that would be part of the input. Like if DXDAO was a core member, and like which we already have some voting power, we can already propose ideas to this DAO, but this DAO is not hardened yet. This DAO is coming together currently. And so I would say this is more of a grant. Yeah, this is a grant / sponsorship of this Dawn DAO initiative. It would be for DXDAO. It's not an investment. Yeah. Well, it's not monetary investment.
Yeah, I agree with John that like getting an idea on their overall plan and kind of what they're doing, and just looking through that mirror, the DAOist.mirror document, they clearly had put some thought into it. In addition to like doing due diligence on that, I know it's not an investment, but is there anything that will be like, I don't know, like a perk or something that DXDAO will get out of this? If it is something like future sponsorships or future, you know, something, I know that the governance power itself is there, and that's an appealing there. But like, just is there like something maybe more tangible that we could ask for? But I'm not sure what that would be.
So there are things like we're going to get better and first access to the events. Now, the cool thing is because we're quite close to them, we already had the most access of any project at GGG by far, right? So, and that's because we have been supporting. We got more access than anyone else by like multiples. By supporting this, that would likely continue, which is great. They want real DAOs who can provide real value and have real, you know, information and set examples to be involved in this DAO to help lead the way. We don't, if you're like one of the top sponsors, the 75K, you actually get, that includes like a main sponsorship at like one of the next DAOist events. But these smaller ones don't include like the full sponsorship of next events. And there's 18 spots. So if they start giving different people different perks for the same sponsorship, it gets a little complicated. But it also comes with access to the Meta Hub. So that's kind of there's currently a Meta Hub in Lisbon, but there's an idea to have other Meta Hubs in different regional places. And so access to that, we could do, theoretically, you could do a retreat or something there if you can schedule the time and lock it off and things like that. So there's opportunities there, but that's a little specific to like a region and maybe people that are in that region. Like people that are in Lisbon that are part of DXDAO, they could start to use that Meta Hub and interact more with the other communities that are also using that Meta Hub. That's less relevant for people that are not located in that region. But that's one additional part, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that if this is like a time sensitive thing, maybe we should move forward with the on-chain governance proposal for it, and let the DAO decide.
Would you say this? So I can put it in the forum and then we can discuss.